Hi guys, this is Siree back with another YouTube video. And as you can see today, I have a very special mentor slash guest slash guru, Miss Toni Sanders. And we're here at the WFG Center in Houston, Texas. And we just wanted to have a conversation with you guys. And as you can see below, our topic today is going to be about financial literacy and life insurance and its importance of both. So again, this is Miss Toni Sanders, and you want to say hi to the people?
Hello, people. Like she said, I'm Toni Sanders, certified financial educator, licensed financial professional. Been in the industry is 10 years this year. I can't believe it's been 10 years.
That's amazing.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Right. And making money, generating wealth, and educating people at the same time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Miss Toni, I know, but for the people who may not know, how did you get involved with life insurance, financial literacy?
Awesome. So, like I said, it's been 10 years now. And literally, I'm a former hairstylist. I owned and operated 2 salons, a day spa, and a boutique for 20 years.
Wow.
You see, I have all the gray hair to prove it, right? All the gray hair to prove it. But, someone came to me and asked me if I could ever double my income. And I said, no, it's just me. I can't double my income. And so they said, we would love to show you a way how you can double your income. And I was all ears at that point. Being an entrepreneur for 20 years, you want to know, well, tell me how to get to the bag, right? Tell me how to get there. And she just said, hey, have you ever thought about doing life insurance? Mm-hmm. And I said, no, I hadn't. And literally that weekend, a second person came to me and said, hey, I have an opportunity.
Confirmation.
It was confirmation. Literally, it was confirmation. And she came to me. She told me about an opportunity. She shared a picture with me. Mm-hmm. And the lady that was on the picture, I knew her. Okay. She was a former client, and I instantly called her and asked her, tell me what you're doing. And honestly, the rest is history.
Yeah. The rest is history. So did your passion develop for it afterwards, or sometimes we get involved in stuff because we make a lot of money, right? Mm-hmm. But there's no passion for it.
Right.
So at what point did your passion for educating people about life insurance and financial literacy happen?
Well, let's just go back. So I've always been a people person.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is I always have loved to help people. My grandmother did it. My mom still does it today. And as I've always served, I always tell people, I'm here to serve people. And I've mm-hmm. always served in every capacity that I possibly can. Mm-hmm. I used to be a flight attendant. I did hair. Now I'm in financial services. So anytime that I could ever help people, I wanted to do it. So okay. I didn't even think about, the money, because I had no idea. I didn't know anything about, nobody ever grows up, first of all, and said, hey, I want to be an insurance agent. Right. Nobody that I knew, anybody that, especially that looked like me, we don't grow up and say, oh, I want to be an insurance agent. But it wasn't until I had the education. Mm-hmm. The education was really, truly changed my life, because over the years, I had made a lot of money. But I never knew about money. Nobody ever taught me about money. Right. And so for me to be the biggest benefactor of the education, I was like, wow, not only do I need this information, but there's a whole community of people who need this information. And so that's how I knew the passion for it was there.
Okay. So as an early adult, late teen, I knew early on about life insurance. Mm-hmm. And it's just like you said, it's just how people that come into your life and just feed you information, and mm-hmm. it might take you a year or so to really sit on it to understand it. Then another person, I just heard a message last week, one person plants, another person waters, and mm-hmm. then, fruition. So I was working at the hair club for men and women in like a high-rise building, professional office building. And every time I got on the elevator, it was this guy with a blue suit. And he would always ask me about life insurance. And I'm like, he's trying to sell me something, right? So I worked at this place for about a year and a half. And I want to say maybe 6 months in, he finally got me into his office. Mm-hmm. And he started going over the life insurance. And I'm like, well, I may or may not need this. I know I had it through my current employer.
Wait. You said may or may not need it?
I was 20 years old. Okay. I was 20.
Okay.
But again, I had it through my employer at the time. But you sign up for stuff you don't really know what you're signing up for, because it's included. It's not additional that you're paying for it along with your health insurance. So I said, why not? It was really inexpensive. It might be like $20 a month. Mm-hmm. And he may have told me about term and whole life, but I said, well, just give me whatever the cheapest option is today.
Most people.
And, he locked me into, okay, well, this is for the next 30 years, blase. As I got a little bit older, I bank with USAA, and every time I would get on the phone with them, they asked me again about life insurance. I said, well, I already have it through this particular company. And they said, well, let's see what we can do for you. We can get a lower payment for you. Again, still got tied into another term policy, looking at the price tag of how much it costs. But at that time, when I was 20, 21, my entire 20s was a vacation. Like, I was always traveling, going out of town, going out to eat concerts. Like, I lived my best life in my 20s. So just in hindsight, looking at it now, I truly could have afforded the proper coverage that I needed, but because I didn't have the education of the different types of policies that I was getting myself into. So so for one, what's the big deal with not having life insurance outside of your employment? If I have it at my job, why do I need a second?
Oh my goodness.
External insurance.
I think that if the pandemic hasn't taught us anything, is that your job is not guaranteed, right? So many people lost their jobs. They were laid off. They didn't. The job just went away totally. But you have to think about that you don't own.
Right.
When you leave, most companies will not allow you, it's not portable. They will not allow you to take that policy with you. So if you know that there's a great chance that unless you plan on staying there for the rest of your life until the day you die, I mean literally dying on the job, you need additional coverage. You need your own private policy. And the second thing is that most of our employers do not give us enough. So we talk about proper protection and having enough coverage. They may give you, $20,000, $50,000. In some corporate jobs, you may even get, up to 3, 5. I've heard somebody say 10 times their salary. However, you do not own it unless you plan on dying on that job.
Okay.
So you definitely need some private insurance.
Okay. All right, and now that I've been licensed, since July, I've just really been getting active in November, December. I mainly target my real estate clients as my base, my family, close friends, and my sphere of influence as my base. But obviously, I'm on YouTube today, marketing, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook marketing now, the importance of getting life insurance, but what exactly is the financial literacy part of it?
Absolutely. So for me, I would tell you that I don't really try to sell people anything. I just want to serve them. I believe in financial education, financial literacy. As you see the sign behind us, it's a national campaign to educate people, to equip them, to empower them to make better financial decisions. You said it first. You said, hey, I was in my 20s, I was living my best life. Maybe you weren't equipped to make the right decision regarding the insurance, but that's just a piece of it. So there's something called the financial foundation, and this is where the education comes in. You have to have proper protection. It's just like the chairs we're sitting in. If one of the legs is missing, it's not stable. So that's what holds everything together. It's going to protect your income if you become incapacitated and you can't work. It's going to protect your health, the ability if you can't go out, all those things that you need, and even the assets that you've already accumulated. And then what about debt management? People who need to control their debt. You said, hey, Toni, I was in my 20s living my best life. There's still a lot of 20 and 30-year-old, even 40 and 50, 60-year-old, they living their best life. But guess what? Their debt is out of control. And then let's talk about the next stage, which is having emergency fund. Like I said, the pandemic, unfortunately, people were ill prepared. Literally, people were caught off guard. They were caught off guard. And so now just showing people how to build up an emergency fund, a proper emergency fund, because if something like that should happen again, I want to make sure that people are properly prepared. But let me tell you what people do. They jump on the roof of the house. You're a realtor. Have you ever seen a house built from the roof to the foundation? You have to build it up just like a house. So we have the blueprint to help people build up their financial foundation. But first and foremost, it starts with the education, because we cannot make a decision. You didn't know about insurance at the time, so you couldn't make an educated decision. So that's why we teach people, we educate them so they're empowered to make the best decision that is for them and their families. And since we're talking about it, next month is National Financial Literacy Month, because even our government finds that so many people are financially illiterate. There's so many people. I tell you all the time that people are highly educated, they're professionally successful, but unfortunately they're financially illiterate.
That's so true. It's so true. Even the wealthiest people who make 6 figures, $1 million and plus, they just aren't putting that money in the right places or aren't investing in the right places.
Right. And again, it goes back to the education. I don't care if people have $50 or 50 million. If you don't know how money works, you're setting yourself up for failure. Most people know how to go to work and they know how to make the money, but how many people truly know how to make their money work for them?
Right. So we're, definitely in the business of educating, wanting to assist you with getting the proper protection, the proper coverage. Just even me finding out, just speaking with people in my family, that my own family members, my 84-year-old grandmother, just don't have the right coverage. And it's like at that age, now it's like expensive to get the bare minimum, so just looking at it now in my 20s, if I had IUL or some type of cash value policy, I'd be pretty okay right now, just looking back at it. So, it's just one of those things where we just learn sometimes at a later part in our life.
Well, I will say this, though. I always tell people that our parents and our grandparents didn't know. They did the best that they could possibly do. The resources weren't available like they are today. However, we have the resources, so it's up to us to take responsibility and also to get the education. We have free workshops that people can attend so that they can, better their knowledge and expand the knowledge base. Because insurance, there's a variety of insurance options, but most people only know about two. They always say term or whole. Let me just change it up a little bit and let me tell you the difference. A lot of people only know about term insurance and whole life. No, we're going to do a little education real quick. It's term and it's permanent. Term is temporary, right? It's just like a cell phone. When you have a smartphone, can I trade your smartphone for the old flip phone?
No.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
Dated.
It's dated. It's outdated.
No longer available.
Absolutely. So insurance products, financial products, they work the same way. They're outdated, and so we have to give people what's current, but we give them options. Ladies and gentlemen, always remember this. You want to do what's affordable and suitable, and what's suitable and affordable.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is sitting down, doing a financial needs analysis so that you can see where you are, where are the holes and gaps that are in your plan. Most people don't know, so they don't understand insurance. They don't know what to get. So when we're talking about the evolution of insurance, this is very, very important. The first generation of life insurance is temporary, which was term insurance. It's cheap. You can get a lot of insurance for a low cost, but you have to die within that term period of time.
Right.
Whether it's 10, 15, 25, 20
you gotta
years.
Start all the way over.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the likelihood of people dying in that term is very slim to none. So what happens to that money? It goes back to the insurance company. And then we have whole life. Whole life is the second generation, which is permanent life insurance. It's the first generation of permanent life insurance. Whole life means exactly what it says. You gotta pay your whole life until age 100 or until the day you die. It has cash value, but it's only about 2 to 4% interest, right? And then let's talk about universal life. We call it UL. It's not as rigid as whole life. It's a little bit more flexible. The cash value is maybe 3 to 6%. Then they have variable universal life. There's so many different types. Variable meaning that it varies. It goes up and it goes down. It has a separate account for your cash value to grow, but it's tied to the market. So, hey, if your money is up, you're happy. But when your money is down, you're not so happy.
Right.
But what if you could get the best of both worlds? It's in the index universal life, which is your cash can grow. You don't never have to lose any money. It's tax advantage. You have proper protection. You can even have living benefits. You can have long-term care. Some of the products are capped and some are uncapped. But there's a floor of 0, meaning that you will never lose any money. People love that. People love the fact that they can also minimize their taxes using these vehicles. Insurance strategies over the years, it's not just for death anymore. See, most people think about it, life insurance as being, if I don't want to talk about death.
Right.
It's not about that.
What they get when you pass, and that's usually what people would think about when you mention life insurance.
Right.
So, but as we can see, there's many different options for different people, all ages. I mean, just started my 3 and 4 year old nieces off. You know, it doesn't matter the age. You know, there's something for everybody.
You can start as young as 15 days.
15 days.
15
my
days
nephew,
old.
he's only 1 year old. So
I
he got a few more days, another week to go. You know, but we love to, you know, schedule a consultation free of charge, just to go over your options, just to educate you. Again, to educate, not to sell you anything, but to educate you, give you the information, and allow you to make an informed decision. Even if you're thinking about becoming an agent like Toni and myself, you know, you'd like an additional stream of income for your family, and who knows, it may turn into a full-time job for you, maybe lucrative for you, just depending on how often you build your business, how you market yourself. You could be a full-time agent. So
I'll tell you one thing about this industry, it's for everybody, right? Because let me tell you something. Everybody's going to die. Everybody's going to retire. Where money is moved, money is made. And so why not learn and earn at the same time?
You're required to get health insurance. In most cases, you're required to get car insurance, homeowners insurance.
Yeah.
So why not life insurance? So,
absolutely.
Ms. Toni, if you could just let everybody know how they can reach you and find you.
Absolutely. You can reach me on all social media platforms. I'm talking about Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn. Your girl's everywhere. Just Google me.
It goes viral.
And just Google me. But really, it's really about the education. We just want to have, you know, informed, educated consumers making the best decisions for you and your family. Save your future. Reach out to us, and we're definitely going to give you some tools that you can use so that you can become financially free and financially independent.
Absolutely. And as always, you can find all of our contact information below. Feel free to drop any questions. Follow the link to get directly in contact with me or Toni. And, you know, that's it. Until next time.
See you later.
Like, comment, subscribe.